Muy buenas tardes to everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. And as always, from the heart, do allow me to thank everybody for your guys' words, prayers, and for your great support. Gracias. And before I get into the story on hand, I hope I sound semi okay in this video. It was a long way of up and downs and trying to get things done, and it was a letdown today, mi gente. I was shooting for the director to help me 80% with the surgery, and I got shut down, so I'm back to 50 and 50%. It's just Mexico works, and it's all about the feria, right? But I think that's in everything. But regardless, I want to send my love out to everyone. I'm going to try to go live tomorrow to conversate with you guys. Saturday at 5 p.m., I got a heart procedure, and it's a real serious one that took a long time for me to decide to go ahead and, go through with it. And I decided to go ahead and risk it. At the end of the day, I can't walk right, I can't do nothing, and it just gets old. And I come on here and talk about faith, and I gotta have faith, that it will work out. Odds ain't in my favor, so. But up until now, you know, the Lord has been great with me, so I have to trust. But do know if something was to go wrong, that is well accepted and is for the best. And someone will come on here and properly let everybody know. But anyways, don't want to speak about nothing like that. I just thought I would keep you guys in the loop with what's going on with me. It's a long process, but at the end of the day, everyone said I shouldn't be here no more, right? But I'm here, so I'll keep beating them odds. So, anyways, to get into the story in hand, I want to continue on how things unfolded to the point where I decided to go ahead and just take a step back. And, after that time where he actually had other people tie me up and put hands on me, I started, I'm not going to say getting disillusioned with him because that was out the window. But I started questioning a lot more things out in the open as I never done before. Now, let me take you back a little bit. A couple months before the next step, we had we had hit a conecta. We had gone out there with the Billy Evil, and he was in the feds, so he had left us a phone number and a people we were to contact in Durango where he was at, right? And we were gonna go out there and look at some goma. Now I had some back experience with good goma, when it came down. So he wanted me to personally go out there and look at it. Now the camarada that was assigned to go with me was the homie Pitufo from Upland. Now, I didn't have long that I had met the camarada. He had just came down from the States, so I didn't really know his whole history. We somewhat conversated as we were out there. And camarada, he had been in the system, but not like I had been in the system. It was just mainly go in a couple years, get out, but in the time being on the streets, he got in touch with the Billy, D. So, anyways, we went up there and we were to meet up with with some indigenas, right? Which that's where you usually get goma cheap in Mexico. So we went out there and we looked at prices, and at this time, I had a family member, which I don't want to disclose, excuse me, where he's at, because he's still doing his thing. But he used to have the correct assets, and he knew how to make some bomb chicharron, right, for a right price. So the point was that over here at this different sierra, it was dry at this time, so we were looking different avenues. So we went out there, we went up there, and we looked at it, and it was good. It was good. As we went back down to town, here the one persons that set plazas are the militaries, marinos. They're the ones that decide who's there, who's not, and who can go in and who cannot, right? And we weren't part of this plaza. We were just like, we weren't dealing with the streets or their business. We were just in there piquedere, just going up there, looking at the goma, and if something cracked, they were supposed to bring down and deliver it to where it was needed to go. So everything was cool, but as we were in town, I remember me and the homie, we went out to eat, and all of a sudden, the marino showed up, and just to let you in on a little something about marinos, it's just you don't want to get arrested by them. For one, they're not going to arrest you. They're going to get you, and since they have the people working there who needs to be there, they're going to torture you. They're going to go ahead and dome you and throw you out in a dirt road, right? Out towards the sierra. It's just facts. Everybody that wiggles in Mexico knows, not to mess with marinos. So, anyways, we took off. Me and the camarada took off, and not to make a long story with you guys, we basically were able to wiggle out, and we made it back to Sonora. Now, this is the type of thing that you build bonds with a camarada, right? Because you're more on a on a level with them where you could cotorrear or XX things. You bond like camaradas, right? It ain't nothing like si señor, none of that, right? And we came back to Sonora, and we started securing feria. When we first came back, the Pili wanted us to go ahead and go to casitas, and each casita, if they needed jale, to go ahead, leave jale and pick up, right? It was just so much amount that they could have at one time, and once it reached that amount, it was supposed to be picked up and removed from the casita in case, people meando fuera de la cazuela would hit the casitas. They wouldn't have, you know, the feria there or a big amount. So we were doing that for a while, me and the homie, and we got into a couple things, for example, I remember that at one casita they had tied the guy in charge there. They had taken the feria, the guns, and so we had to make decisions, and what me and the camarada had agreed was that we're gonna make decisions as camaradas. We looked at it like a work thing. When you work at a certain place, a patron, a boss, don't want those people that constantly is calling in, like, hey, this happened, how do I resolve it? Hey, this happened, what am I supposed to do? I never been that type of vato. I always been the type where, you know, I resolve things. I resolve things the best I can, and not bother. At the end of the day, it's better to get there and look. This popped up. I did this, and that, and everything is where it needs to be. That's just the type of individual that I was as a camarada. So anyway, we went out. We were able to locate homeboy in a motel. So one thing it was we had agreed on is if they're homies, you know, give them a good butt whooping and ábrete. No te queremos ver ni los pelos de la nariz, eh? So go ahead and rotate tires, right? We weren't gonna we weren't gonna do that. We understood that we're out of bounds. However you want to look at it, and we're Mexicanos, whatever. This is our tierra, but at the same time it ain't. You know. So, anyways, just little issues that so started popping up where me and the camarada we resolved them together. Now, it was we worked 24 por 24. In a sense, it's 24 by 24. We worked 24, we were off 24, like that. So, anyways, and it would happen to be we had 24 hours. So we're gonna go out at this time. I wasn't a big drinker, but one, two, just to take the heat down and stuff, I would. So we went out to this bar, right? And homeboy, Pitufo, he liked to drink, he liked to smoke bud. Me personally, weed make weed took me out. I smoked weed, I was gone. So I never was a weed smoker, like to that sense, either one or the other, right? But anyways, as we're here, we happen to run into two chicks. So while we were with these two chicks, they invited us to go chill at one of their pads. And as we're there, one of the chicks, the one the homeboy was with, was married. So her bato got there and basically he got there, wolfing out his neck. That this and that if we knew who he was, and the typical uh escudo or badge they wear here in Mexico. I'm related to so and so, and you know, you know what's gonna happen. Te va a cargar la, all that typical stuff. And he pulled out. So once he pulled out, it was quick. To be sincere, the homie Pitufo, he had chunkums on him. So he took it away and he literally put a couple coscorrones on him. It wasn't like he beat him down. Nah, it was just a couple guajoloteras and that was it. Like because the homie understood, like, hey, like a man, I didn't know she was your wife. And he tried to say that in the beginning. As a man, I apologize, but you keep pressing and you're confusing me trying to be, you know, a man for being a punk. So, anyways, it escalated to the point where homie had to put tips on him and take the piece from him, right? So we didn't think nothing of it. It was we took off, and the only bad part is that him as myself, we have tattoos, so it ain't like they could confuse us with too many people here, right? Especially when you see, per two bald headed fools with a full sweater, tax on the head, and neck, everything. So, anyways, at the end of the day, this vato, he happened to be a federal de caminos, and for those that know, here in Mexico, the AFI, Federal de Caminos, they've always been with Sinaloa, right? And this is before everything hit the fan. So I remember one day we were at old man's spot where he was at, Davato happened to get there, seen Pitufo, and it just from there went all bad, and this part, I'm gonna straight say it like I felt that day, that I was a coward. Just being sincere, you guys know I'm not on here to glorify this. or to pump myself up as to be Superman, or that I did this, and that. Nah, Charles. Everything I did was because I was brainwashed. I was loyal to something that is just never there. I was a pay, throughout this whole thing. And that day, it was they told the Pili, you know, I don't know. It was weird, because once we heard him, seen him talking to him, and I wasn't drunk. Like I said, I drank, but never to get dumb. And I seen it, but they took off, so we didn't. We left it alone. Again, we didn't. We didn't see the need to approach the Pili with things like this, right? So a short while later, they returned. Nothing but federales. We're talking about fools with bashes, right? And we do understand that it's part of Mexico, right? Here, gobierno goes hand in hand with maña, and but I recall when I was in Corcoran, Daryl gave me a lot of schooling. I mean a lot of schooling, because he told me he had a lot of love for R, from Riverside. He respected him and all this blah 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 stuff, right? One of the things he always taught me was never get involved with other people's business. We're this, and that, and we're to stick solid to what we are. Nuestras reglas, regulaciones, and miss everything else, right? But it's just how these individuals switch up. Their rules are made to be broken. You know, few I was sitting there as he was telling me a bunch of things, and now I was sitting here looking at whole different things unfold under his watch. They came and basically he had two vatos that were part of the maña that were with us. They weren't homies. Go ahead and jump on homeboy, and I was gonna jump, and right away he told me like chill. He needs the discipline, right? So these vatos came, and I should have stuck up for the homie, right? But in all reality, there was no, guys know what in me. I still felt like I wasn't one to question anything. I was supposed to follow suit, and it's one of the worstest thing that I had never witnessed. And done to a righteous camarada that only defended his pride, which at one moment I was taught that as a sureño, we're always supposed to defend our pride at all times. Sureño that allows his pride, his manhood to be poked at, he's not to walk amongst us. But anyways, man, you guys, I don't know if you guys seen the videos in Mexico, but I had lifted when I first got from the States where I heard things, but this time I actually seen it. I seen some of them fools from that side take an axe to homie, and homie what just told me, we're gonna conversate. There's bigger things in this, and they took the homie's life that day, and there wasn't a damn thing I could do. So after everything that I had seen, I just started questioning everything. This was the same man that taught me a whole bunch of stuff. Now I was seeing with my own eyes how he didn't have none of his brothers with him, but he was going against everything he once told me. After they did this, they took the homie with them, put him in a bag, and went somewhere on a bridge to prove a point, as they do here in Mexico. When in reality, it had nothing to do with the Contras, right? It had to do with the simple camarada defending his pride when he had no better. When somebody with a badge came pointing a gun thinking he was big and badder, I was there. So, after this, I was still there, but I wasn't. I sat and just was on my own trip, trying to make sense of things. And the Billy seen this, and he came up to me and he told me, like, hey, look, I know that you're probably questioning everything, and I straight told him that day, I told him, look, with all due respect, what happened to our gente is untouchable by no others. You're here turning the camaradas in, not just to contras, but to popo, to police, and you're having them take them out when the camarada came down here was doing things right to support you in evil. How am I supposed to take it, man? And I don't mean no disrespect. I told him I just want to know what's going on. You're either doing this to put our gente on the map with these people to open those avenues, or you're doing this for personal greed. So he told me, nah, look, we're doing this because we have to follow suit with what is down here. And I told him, I thought you once said, donde sea que estemos, don't matter where. We're sureños from California, so we follow our rules and regulations. If we step out of bounds wherever we're at, we're to correct each other. And I don't mean to question this. I want to understand. So at this time, he told me, like, look, there's this ranch, there's this little town by the beach, and there's this ranch behind this tepetate. It's about three and a half hectareas, and it's a bodega and a lot of things. I have trust in you. I want you to go up there and be up there, so you see what goes out in the avenue, through the pipelines and through Cali, through the gente. Leave all this to me, and don't think about the homie. And you know, what could I say? Again, I was a coward, right? So I just put my head down and told him, look, it ain't, it ain't for me to say nothing, but to understand, I had a while rubbing elbows with homie, doing things, and he was nothing but solid. I still don't understand this, but I'm here, and I gotta push forward, right? As a campolero, right? And anyways, after this, we distanced ourselves. Well, I distanced myself a little bit, I ended up did going up to this rancho that things started turning around, I said it before and I'll say it again. Our worst enemies is our own mind. We're built, we're made to believe in one angle, one direction. So our mind, when we're trying to disassociate ourselves from that, knowing things are wrong, our mind starts fooling ourselves to maintain it in the gutter and this BS. That's exactly how my mind worked, man. I went up there. It was easy, man. Just be up there with, looking out for a rancho solo. And for a while it was cool, and then it started flipping around, and But I don't want to bore you guys a lot. I know I don't want to make these stories long. But the next story will be the last one. Tomorrow at 7 p.m., I'm going to go live. But before that, I'm going to finish on what made me step back. Besides all this, there was something else that really made me say, F everything. I'm cool messing with you guys. And I didn't do it in a funny way. As I come on here, I don't condone you abandoning your neighborhood. Stay solid to those that are solid to you. Cause that's something beautiful, man. Something you grew up with. Yes, you do a lot of bad, but at the same time, it's who you grew up with. There's righteous love and care there. You hit something and it becomes the closest one to you is the one that's gonna move on you. Family. But again, I don't want to bore you guys with everything. I hope I didn't sound too dragful in this. Again, it was just a long day, but tomorrow for sure I will finish up as I will properly introduce myself as you guys, as I promised from the beginning with the ones that have been with me. There's when I come on here and talk about heartaches, it's just to open that glance. It's a lot of heartaches, man. If you're a campolero like me, when I got campolero my whole back, you know, I got it because I believed in it. I love my gente. I still do. And, a lot of people will get on here and say that I'm this, and that. Show me. Show me. There ain't one thing. I've never and will never work with police. I'll never go out backwards like that. And I'm not on here to to direct people in that sense. Just smart up. Be your own man. Love those that love you. That's it. But I will conclude with why I step back tomorrow. I send my love to everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. Keep supporting me, please. And I don't know how to work this YouTube stuff. I do the recordings and somebody else helps me with the rest. So I still don't know how to fix YouTube to where it's a bunch of. Anyways, that ain't important. I send my love to everyone. Please stay true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones. Que estén bien.